What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to 3-Star Draw. I'm down south of 77, and this here is an adult collector channel where we like to talk about G.I. Joe, mainly classified, because that is what I am into these days. And every now and then we'll take a look at some other stuff that I am into as well. Like look at some Marvel Legends, some Four Horsemen stuff, some Jada toys, like a little bit of everything. But I love this classified line. Even though I have my gripes with it here and there, overall I am enjoying it. So as you can see, today is a classified video. FedEx dropped off this big beautiful beast yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday. I'm not sure when I'll get this video finished and get it out to you guys, but they dropped it off yesterday. On Friday, I got the alert in my phone on the app that it was on the way. We've all been checking that app, you know, like refresh, those of us who are late or later getting our rattlers right, like it's not going to alert us when it populates in there. But I did get the alert, like, yay, it's finally on the way. That was Friday. Wednesday it got here. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday I got the email from Hasbro Pulse that it was on the way. Tuesday. So 5 days. When I got the email from Pulse, it was already in Nashville. So that's how it's been going over there lately. But enough said about that for now. It's here. I'm excited. The Rattler was one of my favorite vehicles. Probably in my top three favorite Cobra vehicles from when I was a kid. I remember when I got it in Christmas in 1984. I also remember how easily it broke and how quickly I lost some of those bombs. Let's hope that's not a problem with this one. I haven't heard any major complaints with this yet. We had quite a few last year with the Dragonfly, and this got here like 5 months quicker than they got the Dragonfly here. So I've been cautiously optimistic. So like I said, I haven't really seen any big issues with it yet. I'm excited to get this thing out, put it together. I don't know where the hell I'm going to put it. For weeks I've been talking about needing to rearrange and move this shelf here and that shelf there, move this stuff over here and spread it out, because I want to put the Rattler right up there where the hiss is, and then I will see how much room there is for the hiss and all that stuff around it. As you can see, I haven't done that yet, so it's probably going to live on the dining room table for a little while, and maybe having it in there and not being able to see it when I'm in here will motivate me. Maybe. I don't know. I knew it was coming. I haven't done it yet. So, like I said, all I've heard is people talk about, you won't believe how huge it is. It's just a massive vehicle. And it's also kind of a precedent for why they might not do some other vehicles is the size of this one. It's like 3 foot by 3 foot or square. It's like a square yard as I understand it. So enough. We're going to get it out, check it out, take a look at it. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do this video. I don't think anybody really needs to see another straight up unboxing of this yet. So I'm going to film it. We've got the top-down camera over here now that I've been testing out, and it should work pretty good for stuff like this. We're going to find out. So I may speed up that unboxing and skip through it, and if I have some talking points in it, I'll leave those in, but probably going to speed through the unboxing. I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. Anyway, we're going to look at the final finished product when I get it done. Check the figures out, although I'll probably do the figures in a separate video. And we can't forget the patches, can we? We got to look at the patches. Cobra Rattler Haslab. Let's go. All right, we'll try this and see how this works. Do want to look at the box, because got to give the box its due, and you guys know I do still like to look at the box on my figures, so we're going to do that real quick right here. So if you can see this, you got Military Armaments Research Syndicate, you got your Mars, Looks like you are in like a control room or something. Here's your roof. Looks like circuit boards. Really cool. And then you got that like it's on screens. Then down here you've got this globe. It's like a topo map of a globe, except almost 3D with all these little planes crisscrossing the globe here, like you'd see on an air traffic control board or something. Nice matte, and then of course this is gloss on your Cobra Airborne. Your stripes on either end are gloss, and then down here, well, of course, we got to highlight our patches. Put it right there on the top of the box are the patches. Then we will move on, flipping it over this way. And again, awesome presentation. You guys have heard other people talk about it, I'm sure. Matte back here, your rattlers are gloss. Got your blue lasers here are gloss. All of this, G.I. Joe. And you got these rattlers flying around doing a bombing mission over a base or a city or something. Looks awesome. I mean, it's very much like World War II era kind of artwork. Propaganda posters, war bond poster kind of feel to it. Then back here, we got the back of our box again. Matte and gloss. This is gloss. All this is gloss. I'm sure you can see what's gloss because it's reflecting the hell out of the light. Not going to go over every single thing, but it just lists the different features of the plane, like real life features of what they would be. You know, low thrust turbofan tri-pack intake up here, and then up here you got your carry CDV 9B jawbreaker nose cannon, that kind of stuff on there. Then of course down here you got a little quick rundown on the features, and then you get it in 4 more languages. And look, there's them patches again, and there is letting you know that it's a Haslab and 6-inch scale. Do you like that? But I love this with the diagram. Kind of calls back to the blueprints that we used to get. And flipping it on over again. Again, nice picture back here of probably the top view of what you saw on the other side. It's that like from a different angle. And this is all matte back here. So the white outline on this really does make it stand out. Pretty sweet, man. I do dig what they've done here with the design. And on the ends, we'll see how much we can hit the camera. That's how far up this box stands. They're setting flat, so you can just about get it in view with the camera up. The camera is like, I don't know, I think I've probably got it about 3 feet up off the table here. So just another view here, bombing. Got a helipad over here that it's blowing up, all the smoke and explosions. Let's see if I can do this without hitting camera cords and show the other end. It's really very difficult to get all of this in frame. So this is part of the reason I went ahead and bought the overhead camera mount, was because I knew that this was coming and I really wanted to try it for this. So hopefully that tape crunching is not too loud, because it's right by where I've got my lav mic. So I do dig the bombs. It's like Garbage Pail Kids is what that reminds me of. You got your bombs falling again down here. These stripes are matte, or I'm sorry, gloss, and then everything else is in matte. Just fantastic artwork. But again, I really do think I like the Dragonfly artwork a little bit better, but I like both of the styles. Alright, we're going to open up this end over here. I don't know if there's a specific end you're supposed to open, and you can peel these off, but I don't want to make any marks on the box digging my nail into it. So they're actually quite easy to peel off once you cut them. Here's our top tray. And I opened the wrong side. Don't matter, but I guess you know when the writing's backwards, you know, away from you. So this, I believe, is going to be our figures. If it is the, like the dragonfly. Nope. Oh yeah, I guess it is. As you can see, I did not pay much attention at all to how it was packed in during the unboxing video. Top box is our stickers, our figures, and bombs, blast effects, all of that stuff. So this was our middle box, right? We got our military armaments research syndicate. You can see it a little better now. Open up that box, and on top we got our canopy pieces and our big blast effects. Then we got our main fuselage, jets. That's a, I don't even know what that is. What is that? I don't even know. Tail section and a jet. And pay attention like how this stuff comes out, because if you've ever tried to rebox one of these things, good luck with that. Our next box, which was the bottom box, Cobra Airborne. And I do like that all of them have different things on top. All of the boxes have a different logo, sigil, whatever on the top. We got a wing. That's going to be the base. Another wing, tail wings, part of the base under there. So that's kind of how this thing comes packed in. So I'm going to get all of this stuff laid out and where I can get my eyes on it, and then we'll start trying to get it put together. Really, what is all the fuss? It's not that big. Yeah, I don't get it. I'm just kidding. So this is my arm. So from the elbow, here's my elbow. So yeah, it is very impressive, I must say. Not daunting, but it's impressive. We got our instructions over here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put batteries in it, because it's going to be much easier to do now than later, I think. And I've actually seen a lot of people online going, how do you put the batteries in this? The screw just spins. And I don't know how people have not ever encountered a battery door like that. Flathead screw, or Phillips head screwdriver. And break that loose. Make sure we push it down, because we don't want to strip the screw. And I'm for real, y'all, seeing people going, how do you get the battery door open? It just spins. I don't see how people have never put together something with a battery door like that. It unscrews and you take a little flathead or something and you just pop the door off. I do not understand how people can't figure that out. Oh, nice. Thanks, Pretzel. I don't know if you guys just heard that. My dog's in the hallway yakking up some water that he just went in there and drank way too fast. I think he waits for me to do a video or a review. Alright, we got all of those in there. I don't even know where the button is to turn the lights on, so... Alright. Well, I guess they're just on a timer. I know they don't cycle. Well, while we're at it, there's a good view of the canopy and the jets. I guess the intake there glowing. And then there's our gunner's canopy. While they're on, I guess we'll just go ahead and take a look at those. This is world-class stuff here, you guys. And then we just screw our battery back down. And I don't know if people are trolling with that or what, but I've really seen people that don't know how to get that battery door open. So that's all there is to it. Here's our landing gears. We got our release here. Press the release button. And yes, depending on how you're holding this thing, your hand is going to block a landing gear. I didn't press it down all the way, so there's our gears popping out. And then you can just pop them back in there. You don't have to hold them or anything. So there's our fuselage. We got our batteries in there. Hopefully that will go out. I think it's a 2-minute timer is what I've seen on this thing. So, all right, let's look at our instructions and hope that light goes out. See if we can get this thing put together here. I am not the world's greatest with these Hasbro instructions. So that's the first thing, that's the very first thing here when I open it up is there's the button for the lights, and it does have a 2-minute timer. I'm not a fan of just not being able to turn it off. I don't like that. Like all the others, you can cycle. But I guess it's what it is. That's the way they made it. So I got everything laid out right. I don't have the bombs over here. I didn't get the figures out. We got our stand over there. There's your battery. 3 batteries. And look, unscrew it. But I guess they don't tell you need another flathead to pry that tab up on the door. So everything looks like it just snaps in pretty easily, so we will see. I guess make it easier, let's do this tail section first. It's going to go in just like that. Just like that. All right, that will never come apart again, folks. Just like the Dragonfly. Pretty seamless, you can see there on the panel. Goes together pretty easily. I love the detail in this. It's just like the original, just like the first one we got. All of the rivets and the different plating. Got all of these clamps and rivets back here holding everything together on the turbine. Lots of little details in here. Air pad lift here. There's our panel. We'll look at that here in just a little while. I'm not going to go over all of the little warnings and stuff, although that one is pretty cool if you can see that one. There's a warning, this airplane contains canopy removers containing explosive charges. See applicable to aircraft TO for complete instructions. So I guess if you try and get the canopy open when they don't want you to get it open, it is going to explode. So we got our tail section snapped in. Let's check out our tail wings. Make sure I get these things in the right way. Where's the other one? There should be 2 of these. There it is. I'm guessing these probably only go in one way. No, these are the end pieces that go on the wing tips, right? No, that's right. So let's see. Wait a minute. What am I missing? Missing something. I'm missing that. That's what I'm missing. Right. That appears to be how that goes in. And then this should slide in here. Right. It only, I mean, it can only go one way. It's tapered there. Alright, I just was not pushing those in far enough. You got these little tabs here with these little mushroom pegs that go in. There's only one way for it to go in, but being a Haslab and being brand new, I was being very cautious with it and was not pushing hard. Make sure those are in there good, because I only heard one pop. Alright, so there's our fuselage and everything put together. I did lower my camera back down just a little bit for this part, so. And we do have our, I don't know what these are, side wings, tail wings. They have these slotted angular pieces on it that pop in here like so, and they go in so they are downward just a little bit, or downward, outward. Alright, there's our tail section, and of course our turbine does spin here. So might wind up having to raise the camera back up to get it all in there. And all of this stuff that I'm doing here, this is all just on the first box there of the instructions. So let's grab our wings, and you do just have one notch here. Well, got a little bit of trouble getting that to go in there. There's the way that peg is. Yeah, I mean, it just goes, there's only one way for it to fit in there. There we go, I think. That's our VTOL. And I guess that means something has to, I guess this is the mechanism in here for it to do the VTOL. There we go. Well, I did not like that, trying to snap that thing in there. I was not a fan of having to do that. So there is the basic plane put together, and yeah, it looks like I probably will have to raise the camera back up to get a good view of all of it. And look, the lights went off at some point during that. Let's look at the fold up section, feature, I guess we should say. So you got release right here, and you want to push that button in, pull it out, and then that's how your wings will go up. And it was pointed out to me they will also angle down, so you want to be careful with that. There's no catch in between, so you don't want to just let that flop, because I don't trust that mechanism right there. So it will lock in place once they're up. I don't think it will lock downward. So, and you don't have to press the button to pop it back in there. So people were pretty much, they were pretty much correct. There's a lot of size with this thing. There's a whole lot of space that this eats up. People that ordered multiples of these, and you're going to have it, have them put out, have them displayed. I would love to see displays or tables or whatever of how in the world that they're going to do this. So, and have a bunch of these things laid out. Before we move the camera up, I move the camera down so I can see if we can get a decent view of the cockpit inside. Just a ton of detail in this thing, so I don't want to press the button and have it light up. Just want to kind of see the different things that are in there. Got all kind of what looks like switches and screens, all kind of different things in there. Have our control sticks over here. Of course, those move. Got our yoke. Oh no, it's not a yoke. All of that is on the, that's all with the stick. That's our seat belt. Okay, I thought that was a control yoke, like what the Dragonfly has. So all this is going to be done with these control levers, and then there's one over here as well, right there. I can't really move it quite as much where you can see it, but this is, it looks like it's got all of your fire buttons on it for your weapon systems. Drop the bombs and fire the front cannon, which we haven't looked at yet. We got to check that out. We can get it back on the screen here. So nice blued steel where this thing's been firing and lighting up. And there's our sound that we all like to hear so much. And hey, look, I turned the lights on, trying to flip it over. So might as well get a good look at it now before we put the canopy on it. And then there's our gunner's area. And the gunner does have another control stick down here. Got your screens lit up. Buttons on sides all the way around there. And of course you do have your seat belt. Sorry this chair's making all kind of noise. I'm trying to be still where it don't, but it's kind of a pain when you have to keep turning and twisting and turning in it. So what should we do next? We're supposed to go ahead and put our gunner canopy on there. Just want to make sure I'm through turning it over, because I don't want to try to turn it over and crush the canopy. It does have some little notches on here. It should just fit down in there. Well, one side did. Try to line these up. Boy, this is a hard review trying to put this thing together, because there is no way you can actually see it all. I'm actually going to have to stand up here. Got that snapped down in there. You just have to line the little tabs up, and it fits pretty flush there. So not too big of a deal. Let's check out our engine flaps. These things seem to be pretty loose. Like there's no snap. I wish there was a tab or something. So you open up the engines, and I know originally they said what they wanted to make these out of metal or something and make it where the whole thing spun, but they just wasn't able to fit it in there. But there's a ton of detail in this. I love all of the detail work and paint work that went into this. It looks great. I mean, I don't know what the inside of a jet engine looks like, so close enough for me. It does have tabs, but they just don't seem to lock very well. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't really see that being a big problem. It's just when you move it, something that you're going to have to be aware of. Now, next step on our instructions here, talk about the ladders and the damage panel, and then just your blast effects and things. So, I don't have the ladders and stuff out yet. I left them put up. I just wanted to kind of show the basic assembly of the plane. And that does lock in pretty good. I was worried about that locking down. I went ahead and got the ladder and that damage panel out, raised our camera back up because I think that may be the easiest way to show a couple things here. So something I completely forgot about was the fact that there's a whole other ladder, boarding ladder for Wild Weasel over here that slides up underneath. I didn't even remember that till I looked at the instructions. And of course you got release step right there. And then here is our panel that comes off of this for the damage. So some people didn't like this. Like, I think this is cool. I actually really did enjoy this. I'm not sure why it isn't lighting up though. I thought, oh, there we go. Okay. I pressed the button again. So there's the effect with like the electrical shorts and stuff in there. Probably doesn't really do it justice with all the lights on it. Some people didn't care for this, but I thought it was a really cool inclusion. I like the battle damage and the wear and tear on stuff. So when the light's on, there's what you got. And then with the panel on, like you never really notice that there's anything going on under there. It covers it well. But I'll probably display mine with the damaged panel on. I thought that was really neat the way that they did that. So I hadn't put the canopy on because I wasn't entirely sure that I'm through flipping this thing over and moving it all around yet. And then you got a warning screen lighting up there that you got some damage. So pressing the button, hold the button down while that's on. Well, that did it before. It's interesting. I hadn't figured out what to do to get this damage panel to intentionally light up. See if it's in the instructions, because I don't see anything about it in there. So press it once. Should be these lights. Twice should be these lights, and then 3 times should be the damage. But maybe that is from dead off. We'll have to look at that further, but I didn't realize that. So when the damage panel is lit up, you do have warning lights blinking up there. I didn't realize that. So I guess I'll wait for the lights to go off, and we will see resetting, pressing the button and seeing how that works, because I'm not entirely sure. And here's our crew ladder. I picked it up and turned it around, and maybe I hit the button again by accident. I don't know, but it started blinking again, so I'm guessing the damage panel's lit up. That's kind of confounding, actually. Not a fan of that. Weapons. This is all for the cannon. It's the rounds for the cannon, not the engine compartment. Here's the engine compartment with these still not staying latched very well. So let's check out with it folded up. See if I can find that release button. So there's what it looks like with the wings folded up. There's how much space it's going to save you on the shelf. Not a ton. Not a ton. Okay, the lights have gone off, so press it once, press it twice, press it 3 times, and this is blinking up here now, so I don't know. You don't get any warning lights back here for the gunner. They're just SOL. They don't know the plane's on fire, I guess. So the bombs and the missiles have this very over-engineered looking way to attach them. And they come with these little holders that pop in to the ends here. There's only one way for them to go on. They have these tabs. I have not put the front cockpit on. That will be, or front canopy, that will be the very last thing that I do. If you watched any of my Dragonfly stuff, you know why. So our front bomb is this triple cluster for the 3 cluster bomb, or 3, I don't know what you call them. These 3 bombs right here. Unguided CCAF. So you got your dog bone, and each of these holds 3. And these do go on the very ends, on the wing tips. Just want to see how well they fit on there. Don't feel like they're going to fall off or anything. Fit on there quite nicely. Now, do we use one of these for these? So, alright, so that has a dog bone on it, so that's going to go on. That's going to go together. Put your 3 on here and snap this in. It does have this slot here. And you can see it on the underside of the wing. It can really only go in one way, which is good for people like me that's horrible at putting this stuff together. Now, I don't know how well this dog bone here is going to hold 3 of those when it's on. But that is what we'll find out. The dog bone also is only going to go on one way. See, one of those is bigger than the other, so it's only going on there one way. So all of these missile carrier systems are all facing forward just like that, and peek out just a little bit over the wing tip, it looks like. Doesn't seem very aerodynamic, but I didn't make it. Mars made it. Again, they all line up where they're only going on there one way, and you can probably pull those out of there. I wouldn't necessarily want to try it, but you can. So I'm going to go ahead and put these things on, get all these snapped in. We'll take a look at it with all of the armaments on it. But I thought before we do that, we might as well go ahead and take a look at the different missiles and bombs now, because it will be much easier to do. Have these longer ones. This is the heat-seeking 00 1984. It's a nice touch. 1984. You get 2 of those. As I mentioned, you've got 6 of these unguided bombs, and these will go on the wing tips. You have this big boy here that does actually come apart, so you can actually just use the little warhead part if you want, or you can put the whole thing together, which I thought was a really neat idea. You can just use these little tiny ones if you want, little dart missiles or whatever. And these are electro-optical target seeking missiles. You get 2 of those bad boys. Over here you got our old friends Chips and Salsa redesigned for Cobra. I like my Chips and Salsa on the Dragonfly. 2 of the little rocket pods. You have 1 bomb. It's like a bunker buster or something. I love this. Best regards. Got the Warthog on there with the tusk. Nice paint tempo on here. Just really slick looking, silver and black. You get 2 of those, but the other one is what is on the box art that I said reminded me of Garbage Pail Kids with Atom Bomb. That's just a really cool tempo. Whoever drew up the stickers and things for this did a really, really good job with it. Everything looks really good. And then you got these right here, Cobra Command Cluster. You get 2 of these. I love the little clusters inside. Just nice touch. And you can't take this thing apart, which is great. I'm glad that this is not meant to come apart. Watch, I'll mess around with it and probably wind up snapping it, but you can hear them rattling around in there. Get 2 of those. We'll get Salsa out. We'll say the other one was Chips. And then you get a couple of firing blast effects. Probably for, I would imagine these are for the cannon in the front. I hadn't really paid all that much attention to the blast effects. Here are the other ones that it comes with for the smaller ones. So I guess these will probably, this has got to be for the cannon, I would think, because it's a much smaller peg. And then this is a larger peg for these guys. So, thing looks pretty well designed. So far it all fits together. The wings just, I don't know. I'm sure they're fine. I don't like that there's so much wobble and wiggle in them. I don't think they're going to be any kind of issue or anything, but just my thoughts putting it together. So, all right, let's get all of the armaments on this thing. That was a bit of a chore getting all of those snapped on there, and I'll show it in just a minute, but I figure while I've already got the camera right here, we'll go ahead and put the stand together, and we'll show all of the armaments and stuff on it. And these little pieces that the bombs and the missiles snap onto, that snap in the wing, you do have to kind of push them up in there and they'll click. I was worried about those. I took one off and the whole thing come off with it. And I was like, I don't like that, because if you want to change stuff around, then it's going to pull the holder out. But they actually do pop up in there, and the dog bones on these are pretty deep. So I did that so you could hear it pop in there. I don't think you got to worry about the missiles or bombs or whatever falling off of this thing, or the pieces that hold them on. Once you take your thumbs and when you put them on, just hold the wing and snap them into place pretty well. And these are all interchangeable. All of the dog bone pegs are the same size. So let's go ahead and look at the stand, get it put together here. So you got these 3 at the bottom here, 3 little pegs here. Little peg, let me in. And that just snaps together there. Then you have this piece here. Got little tabs on it. And little tabs on the edges here. Just snap this in. That corner's not wanting to go in there. There we go. Just really don't want to snap anything. Don't want to break anything. One more right there. There we go. I do not like this clear plastic with putting any kind of stress marks or anything in it after that dragonfly canopy. Okay, so there we go. That's how that goes on there. And then you have this piece that fits on top, so you can angle it. We'll set that over here for just a minute. I love that they put the drawer under it, because storage is always a thing, right? So you have to pull off your missile pods here on the bottom, and there's your 4 pegs underneath. But you will have to take these off, so that's why you got the dog bones, is for anything that I guess gets in the way when you fit it under there. Help if I, so there's your 4 little holes. So there's the plane armed up. I'm going to raise the camera back up again so we can get a little more of it in frame, and then maybe I'll finally actually put the canopy on. Alright, got everything on, got the stand put together. Well, not everything. We still got to do the canopy, don't we? But we're going to look at the armaments on here. Like, it really is hard to show this entire thing. It is massive. Everybody that talked about how big it is was absolutely right. See if I can get the wings back down here. There, got those clipped in. So there's your there's your footprint of this thing. So this camera is that high up, and you can't even really get all of it in there. It's all of the little cluster bombs shaking around. So armed up, this is the way it shows it on the instructions, but like I said, you can change this stuff around if you want, because the dog bones are all universal. And you got plenty of room to put all of your decals. We'll show those here in a few. But it's a lot. So I'm going to snap these canopies on. I was making that the last thing that I did because I had issues with the Dragonfly canopy. Now this one just pops out, this front glass here. So you don't have to worry about 2 hinges on this one. Spin it around. There's no just moving it with the whole thing in view. You literally just have to spin it around. On the back hinge, much better design here than what we had on the Dragonfly. There's your ratchet. Actually see the little, help if I show it, wouldn't it? Actually see the little notches in it for it to ratchet up and down. So you should be able to have this thing in a half closed, half open position. Just C-clamp right there. Nice. And then it should, there you go, tabs. And then we've had issues on some of these with the tabs not seating. Don't get that on this one. Closes all the way. And then this front glass, front canopy here has just got 3 tabs. Pops in like so. All fits together nicely. That was a concern for me since I was in the group that had the canopy snap, as you know. And then I didn't mention the tires yet. The tires are actually have a rubber feel to them. They're already dirty from the little paint chips on my mat here where I need to do a new mat. So actually get the authentic used look. And then the back tires, same rubber, but you get this double assembly here. So much beefier on the back tires than the front tires. And they do seem to be holding this thing up pretty well. And we'll put our ladder on here. The ladder does have tabs in it. I was trying to put the ladder in the wrong spot. It does have a little tab there where you can hook it on to the wing. May have to take that bomb off for it to work. But it fits in there. You may be able to do it with that bomb missile. You may be able to do it, you know, when you're actually in front of it looking at it. But it does fit in there, and it is rather stable. Pretty nice inclusion having that ladder and then the pull-out ladder wherever it is down here. So there in nutshell is the assembly of the Rattler. It's been long. There's no way to do a video on this thing and keep it short if you want to show putting it together, but there it is. Cobra Rattler. So I started this part off in the dark so we can get a better sense of what the lights look like without all of the overhead lights and ring lights and everything on in here. This is also the first time I put it on the stand, and the first time I have put the wings in the VTOL position with all of the bombs and missiles on. So over here, this is what you get when you do one button press to turn the lights on. This is what you see. Get the gunner's cockpit and then the pilot cockpit lit up, and then you have these white lights on. These are cruising lights, I guess. So then you go into the second button press, and it fades out the white lights out here and rings it in red. And I'm not sure what that actually is. I don't know what function it actually is, but it looks cool. This is kind of like I guess a stealth, like a stealth attack mode, because it kills the white lights that are going to be more visible. And then with your third button press, these come on in red in the center of these, and you probably can't see it. See if you can maybe get it reflecting, but that brings on the warning panel, and then that lights up our damage panel over here on the side. Very carefully turn this thing where you can see it a little bit. I don't have the actual panel on, it's in the parts bag. So there's an idea of what you get with the button presses. And I know it just got really blurry because it's trying to focus on those lights. So, and now with the lights on. So all I did was put the front part of the cockpit back on, close it up, I put the panel back on right here, and the lights went off because it's been over 2 minutes. This is how you saw it just a second ago in the dark. Nice view of all of the bombs and missiles on there, and this is the way they are according to the instruction sheet. Again, you can swap them all around, do what you want with them. The dog bones are the same. I'll probably do a couple different videos on the Rattler. I'm going to do the figures separately. I just wanted to do an unboxing and assembly and thoughts video on just the plane itself. I don't know how long this video will wind up being once I start editing it, but it has taken me a while to get it filmed, and it's just a lot. Like it's large. Unless you got a room where you can put it in the middle and go around it in a 360, it's very hard. It's going to be hard to photograph and get the whole thing in a picture. And it's hard to review. These bigger toys, the bigger they are, the harder they are to review because you've only got so much room in the view. Now, my impressions on this thing, do I like it? Hell yeah, I like it. I love the Rattler as a kid. They did a great job bringing this into Classified. Do I like it as much as I like the Dragonfly? Because the Dragonfly and Wild Bill are something special to me. I think maybe I do. I didn't have anything break while I was putting it together, so there's a plus. I hadn't got the figures out yet. I don't know. I haven't heard bad things about them, so we'll see when we see. I do have my reservations about these wings, about the wing assembly, the fold up. I have reservations about how well that's going to hold up if you mess with it much, or setting for long periods of time with the wings extended, with all of the bombs and missiles on. It seems like it's very well made. I hope it is. The more you mess with it and fold it up and you see it kind of wobble, I kind of worry about that. I've got nothing gives me the impression that it's going to break, but you know how sometimes stuff sets on the shelf and the plastic, boy, if that thing had went over, the plastic will expand, contract, and parts that fold and do whatever they do, they'll droop. You know, we see it with blast effects all the time. Now, this is much sturdier than what a blast effect is made out of, but I do worry about those hinges. They're solid. Like, I don't feel like they're gonna break or anything now. I just, over time with it setting, I just worry about it doing that. So I don't know. We'll see. That's one of these things, only, you know, time will tell on it. It is a badass toy. I hope you were able to get it. And if you're waiting on yours, I hope you get yours soon. Just the plane, getting it put together, first impressions. This thing is badass. It is a 4.75 yeehaws on my scale of 0 to 5 yeehaws. That is almost the perfect score, I think. Classified, I think there's only been one, maybe two figures that I've ever given 5 yeehaws to, or classified toys, but I'm thinking in terms of figures. It's a 4.75. What counts it off is, by now they should be putting USB charge ports in this for it to be on all the time if you want it to. My understanding is the Snowcat will have that. The Rattler should have had it. The Dragonfly should have had it. The Hiss, maybe. They were really just starting to get into doing stuff like that with toys, I think, when the Hiss was out. But both the Dragonfly and the Rattler should have had a cable for onboard batteries and USB. Just my thoughts. Mainly the USB charge cable and those hinges just being just a little, I wish they held just a little tighter when you have them up. They're fine like this, but when you have them up in the folded position, I don't know, just something makes me think they should fit tighter, but maybe it's just me. What do you guys think? All right, I'm gonna get out of here. Rattler's badass. We'll take a look at the figures and get all that stuff out as soon as I can. Got a busy weekend, so anyway, go pick you up a Rattler if you hadn't yet. You might wait just a little bit on the aftermarket because there's a bunch of them out there. It's hot right now. Give yourself a few months if you can, and you can probably pick one up cheaper. Anyway, there's the Rattler. Appreciate you guys for sitting through this long, complicated video, but that's what we do over here on 3 Star Draw. I don't get in any hurry. And I will see you guys next time. Hit that like, that subscribe, all that good stuff. See ya.